Minnesota. Beneath this vast veil of snow and ice, 10,000 lakes lay dormant through any typically frigid winter. With nighttime temperatures routinely dipping 10 to 20 below, it's not uncommon for lakes to remain completely frozen over through May, and sometimes even into early June. Right in the heart of Minnesota lies the small town of Brainerd, known for its hospitality.
Have a good weekend, Mavis and Anna.
The legend of Paul Bunyan, and the recreational activities the 450 surrounding lakes provide. Even when all of these lakes are coated with 3 to 4 feet of ice. All of them coated in ice, that is. Except for one. In the center of North Long Lake, a mysterious winter wound has opened. Inexplicably, a hole measuring 1.5 miles long by 400 feet wide has opened up in the ice, baffling local residents.
Because at 20, 30 below, that sucker should be froze over, and it doesn't.
How can you have a hole, just wide open water, with no streams, no river, no nothing running into it, that last week was 3 feet of ice? What's going on?
Mornings I used to be able to look at from my house on my deck and see the steam coming up from the open water.
Despite numerous theories and scientific investigations, no concrete explanation for this giant black hole has emerged.
What is this? This is not really a hole in the ice. It is the black hole. And so when I went down, I really didn't know what to expect.
So the more deeply you dig into this, the more puzzling it becomes.
This week, we travel to one of the coldest regions of the country to get to the bottom of a small-town phenomenon that's slowly being woven into the fabric of American legend. Join me as we unravel Minnesota's very own provincial puzzler. Okay, we gotta go.
I just didn't wipe down on someone.
Check. Okay, you got level. Brian, come out with me here.
No.
Okay, here we go. Hi, Mr. Rush?
Hi.
Hi, I'm Alex. Hi, nice to meet you. Sorry about that.
Nice to meet you.
How's it going?
Gotta go.
So we couldn't think of a better place to start our whole story than with you as the tour guide of the lake and the hole.
Well, I'm just doing it to help people out that want to go out there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm no tour guide or nothing like that.
But we thought it'd be a great place to sort of begin the whole story. And so we just got, I don't know how much you already know, we just got in late last night. So this is all, so we just got here.
Well, I told them that it ain't open no more.
What's
There
not
ain't no
open?
open water.
What's not open?
The lake.
It's frozen over?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I told them when they called that it was froze over.
Oh, I didn't know. Who called? From where?
From Channel 4. I don't know what that is.
No, that's not us.
Same one that Dan Ryder is on.
So it's completely frozen over.
Yeah. I can show you where it was and the heave and the stakes we had around it and how big it was. That's all I can show you.
But there's not even a small?
No, it's been that way since we had the real cold weather.
Oh. I wish we knew that.
I thought they knew that, and I told the wife, I said, I can't figure why they're coming to see the frozen ice, you know.
Yeah. Could we do just one shot where we talk about the hole in the present tense, and you kind of like point in the distance and say the hole right now is, and then say something about the hole? Could we do that? Could you just say like the hole is currently over there, and it's, you know, certain feet by certain amount of feet, and then we'll come back and actually get the shots, or actually just show photos later on.
You want me to say the hole is gone nowhere that way?
Yeah, if you could say the hole has moved a little bit west. If you could say that.
Yeah, west is that way.
Oh.
Well, the hole has moved south. About all I can say about it.
Okay, could we try maybe the hole has moved south and it's gotten bigger the past few days?
You want me to lie, huh?
I'm sorry to make you do this. It'll seem true when we show the photos, hopefully. You know?
Okay. Well, it's moved that way, and it's got a little bigger. It's moved from the original spot.
Yeah, it looks really big from here. Not supposed to laugh, Ken. All right.
You guys.
I'm sorry. All right, I think we got that, right? Okay. All right, great. We got what we needed.
I go to town so that people that call me a liar.
No. Simply a nice guy trying to help someone out in a time of need. I appreciate it. Have you ever seen those karaoke songs that they sing at bars?
Yeah.
Back in Boston, my job is to edit the videos that you see while you're singing those songs. So if this hole doesn't open up in the next few days, I might have to return to that line of work for the foreseeable future.
Well, I got pictures I took up there when the divers were going down.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Those would be great. Okay, slow down a little bit. Good, a little bit more. Good. How does that look?
It's fine.
I mean, look, if you look closely, that could definitely, you know, if we intercut this in the right place, that, you know, this is definitely something we can use, I feel like.
I don't think it works without.
It'll work. Look, this is a setback, okay? It's a setback, all right? And we're gonna have setbacks. You know, that's part of the whole. This way, when the hole does open up, we can document it slowly getting bigger and bigger and bigger. You know, as a time lapse thing. You know, and that could come to be a beautiful part of the pilot. So you know, we could look at it that way too. Could I ask you a question? We're in town doing a story on the hole on North Long Lake, and we're just trying to get some street interviews of people and their impressions. And I was wondering if I could ask you a few questions on camera.
Well, I really shouldn't because I'm in uniform.
Oh, does that matter?
I don't know if it does or not.
Oh, so you've seen the hole firsthand?
Well, I've seen it on television from overhead.
Mm-hmm. And what is your some of your impressions regarding how it looks? Did it look strange to you at all?
Not really.
No. Were you excited or intrigued that this local story has gotten national attention?
Well, I didn't realize it had, but.
Well, it was on ABC News and CBS News.
Oh.
Probably some underground water coming out because we've had quite a bit of water coming out, rain.
I don't have any explanation whatsoever.
For being such a large lake, North Long Lake is unusually shallow. And in winter, since the ice freezes over, there's even less room for the fish to move around. And this increased density of fish creates a heat which can open a hole in the lake.
There was a lot of KGB activity in this area in the Cold War. They had like a little storage spot with a suitcase that potentially could have had some kind of nuclear device. So they were thinking maybe that had been deposited in the lake and that radiation was causing this thing to open up.
Do you know the city passed $10,000 to investigate the hole?
No, I didn't know that. That seems like a bit of a waste of money, but...
I think we're building too much.
and we're causing the Earth to go smaller. Therefore, the hotter stuff is coming up.
Oh, so a pressure.
Pressure.
Right. I mean, we did mostly street interviews today, and then we have a bunch of scheduled interviews over the next. Right. I mean, the thing is that the hole froze over within 24 hours. You know, it all happened very quickly. So when the hole reopens, it'll probably happen just as quickly as well. You know, it'll reopen just as quickly. Right. Right. Exactly. Exactly. Right. Yeah. So in the meantime, we're going to rearrange some stuff, and yeah. Mm-hmm. No. No, I think it's way, way too premature to start thinking about stuff like that. Yeah. Well, I understand. It's my money too. It's my money too, Emily. I understand that. Well, listen, we're going to go there tomorrow morning, first thing. Yeah. Right. Do you want me to call you when we're out there? Okay. Okay. All right. I love you too. Bye. All right, let's go. Yeah. It's getting thicker and thicker. This is 8 to 10 inches, I guess. I don't think this is opening up.
Yes, I believe I wrote the first story about it. Just noting that it was there and that people were interested in it. But they really didn't begin studying it until this past winter, because it opened again. You know, people thought maybe it was just a one-time deal, some weird thing, but it happened again this winter, so then they got interested in it.
I noticed in the internet edition of the Brainerd Daily Dispatch that there's a section that's devoted just to the hole. Yeah, there it is on the upper right. What do you believe is causing the hole? So could you just read those off to us?
Yeah, underwater currents, volcanic action, thermal springs, large schools of fish, microorganisms, or SpongeBob SquarePants.
I want to see what's number one right now.
Okay, leading number one is, well, it's running pretty tight there between SpongeBob and thermal springs.
They're actually, statistically, they're tied at 38%.
Right.
Yeah. So this is sort of more of a side question. So we're in town trying to do this story on the hole. The hole isn't there right now.
Right.
Do you have any suggestions on how we can cover a story on the hole if the hole doesn't exist? Maybe, or no?
Boy. No, I don't. I don't know. You can't go out there and cut it. It's too much ice out there right now. But as far as trying to reopen the hole or waiting for it to reopen, we don't know when that'll happen. It could happen tomorrow. It could, although I think it's down for the season now. There's a lot of ice out there.
Down for the season?
Yeah, I mean froze for the season. I think it would take just a tremendous amount of heat or something to reopen that right now, because there's a lot of ice out there.
I mean, to be perfectly honest with you, if we don't get a shot of an open hole somehow, then this pilot isn't going to work. So
Refer you to a lake that is not frozen? I'm sure there is no such thing. They're all frozen.
There's something like over the federal dam at Cross Lake, but that's a dam where water's running.
Well, what about if through the investigation report, if there's anything that I might be able to use there, whether it's photos or anything like that?
We've got tapes here.
Oh, you do?
Of this phenomenon.
Okay, would it be possible after the interview if I took a look at those tapes? Because potentially that could really save me.
Might be an answer, and might not.
Okay. Are there any other tapes that you have here?
No, I haven't.
Nothing. Baby, you got a real problem.
Huh.
Yeah, I think I talked to the DNR guy after he got done laughing. Since it's been 20 below here every day, there is one spot that you guys could drive by. There's a channel where that channel's going in is actually open water.
Oh, great.
So you could actually shoot from shore and see some open water. Now, it's from a culvert running water, but still it's open water.
So I'm sure if we stand in the right way, we could.
Absolutely. There's no doubt in my mind. Absolutely. I'll just give you a map here.
So maybe if we put the camera there so it's facing this way.
Exactly.
Then it could look like North Long Lake.
If you're shooting this way, nobody in the world would know the difference, quite frankly.
Okay. So pretty much we can get away with this, you think?
I think so.
Okay. I want you to go to the end here and pretend that that's the hole somehow and drift up to this twilight.
Okay.
But don't reveal the pipe.
Okay.
And don't fall in.
It just looks like a puddle.
So I have to be a little bit quiet because everyone is sleeping. The most important thing for you to remember right now is that you have to remain calm and you have to remain positive, okay? Because nobody knows what's gonna happen, all right? Nobody knows. You don't know. The crew doesn't know, okay? Emily sure as fuck doesn't know, although she thinks she does, which is infuriating. You know, nobody knows. You know what people... What people do know is how you react to the situation. Okay? You're the director. Everyone's gonna be looking at you. Okay? How are you gonna respond? You're gonna respond by being calm and by being positive. Okay? Nobody knows what's gonna happen. The hole could be open right now. You know? So we're gonna go out there tomorrow morning. We're gonna check it out. And we're gonna deal with the situation by being calm and positive.
Audio's okay?
We're ready to go.
This week, we traveled to one of the coldest regions of the country to get to the bottom of a small town phenomenon that's slowly being woven into the fabric of American legend. Join me as we unravel Minnesota's very own provincial puzzler. So what exactly is causing the mysterious hole here in the lake? According to many... Sorry, that's me. I forgot to turn it back off. Alright, hold on a sec. Hello? Hey. What's up? Good. Hey, listen, let me call you back. Let me call you back in like 10 minutes. Let me call you back in like half an hour. No, I can't because we're doing a shoot right now. No, listen, we're doing a shoot. I can't call you back. I mean, I have to call you back, yeah. Because I can't talk right now. Yeah, and I can't handle this negativity right now either. Yeah. Yeah, what would you call it then? What would you call it?
Okay. I can hear him on the mic.
Yeah, but you're not out here. You don't know what's going on out here. I mean, this thing could open up any day. No one knows. Well, nobody knows that. I mean, if people out here don't know that, I don't know how you can know that all the way back in Boston. No, it's not about the money. You know, it's not. I feel like you've never understood that. You know, it's not about. I need to get this thing done. Okay? And you need to understand that. And I don't know how else, you know, I don't know how many times I could explain it to you, you know? I don't want to edit karaoke videos for the rest of my life, okay? You know, I'm in a dead job that I hate, that, you know, I'm itching to get out of.
I think he's going out of range. He's starting to break up. I can't hear him that well anymore. He's gonna freeze to death. I think somebody should go get him. You want to go get him?
You want me to get him?
Yeah. Why don't you go get him?
No, I mean, I don't know what to say then. You know, like, I'm not going home. Yeah, I'm not going home until I finish this thing somehow. I'm like, fucking figure out a way to... Yeah. Well, I'm sorry. I'm sorry you feel that way. I'm so... Fine. Fine. Well, I think that's... Give me one more second, I'm almost done. All right, I'll be right there, I'm almost done. No, it's fine, go ahead. Go ahead. That's so fucking stupid, Emily. Yes, it's fucking retarded. Because this is all I have. I didn't mean it that way. I didn't mean it that way. All right, you're driving me crazy right now. You're driving me... All right, fine. All right, let's talk later. I can't talk to you right now. Ugh! Okay, I can't do this right now. Okay. So, with the hole being closed, well, we have a section on the show that focuses on Paul Bunyan. It's a segment, and with the hole being closed, we're probably gonna have to extend that segment a little bit. So we were hoping to, you know, Brainerd being the home of Paul Bunyan, we were hoping to find a big Paul Bunyan statue, and we drove by the one at near the water tower a few times, but it's kind of, you know, it's only 4.5, 5 feet tall. So we're hoping to find a big, we kind of need a big Paul Bunyan statue, and we understand there is one in the amusement center, which is closed down for the season. And I was, you know, do you think it'd be a big deal if we were to go into the amusement center and just me and the crew and you know, and just shoot a few quick scenes there?
Well, we have room for about 140 prisoners.
Okay, so technically then we would be doing what?
Trespassing or blatantly trespassing on people's property.
We really need a Paul Bunyan of some sort. So is there any way you can use your power as mayor to get us in there?
Oh, I don't think so. As far as I know, they're supposed to have like ropes or markers, flashing lights or something.
I know we've been through this a few times, but do you really think the owners would mind if I just went in there for a few minutes? I mean, do you know when they're getting back from Mexico?
I don't know.
Yeah, so okay, so we should have gone. We should have kept going instead of taking that left.
Come on. Okay. No, I think we're in the right place.
It's the sheriff. Don't move the light. That's not for us, dude.
Wait a second. Fuck, dude, everything is here.
Well, what do you want to do?
I don't know. You want to try doing a presentation here anyway? And I don't know. Maybe you can.
I don't think it works without Paul Bunyan.
Yeah. Maybe you can just like frame it like so you just get these log towers and then we can just maybe cut away to, you know what I mean? Yeah. And then if there's a photo, we'll just match it up somehow.
Okay. Okay, go.
Okay.
Quickly though, there's people coming in.
Okay. It was in freezing bunkhouses like these, where impoverished lumberjacks huddled around blazing furnaces to create one of America's greatest folk icons, Mr. Paul Bunyan.
Okay.
You want to try it again?
No, let's get out of here.
Yeah? Yeah, but I'm not doing that.
Well, you gotta do something. I mean, what else are you gonna do?
I don't know, but I'm not doing that. Despite what you think, I still have a shred of dignity left. Okay, give it a second to quiet down. For many residents here in North Long Lake, the strange steam hovering above the black hole has become an everyday occurrence. For many residents here in North Long Lake, the strange steam hovering above the black hole has become an everyday occurrence. Damn it! For many residents, the strange steam hovering above the black hole has become an everyday occurrence.
Okay, alright, we gotta cut. There's a fucking bulldozer. It's...
Okay, so just zoom out. Here we go. Action. Today, in the very footfalls of this 48-foot giant, a new, much more mysterious legend is taking shape.
Okay.
Alright?
Yeah.
This is pathetic. So right back. Fucker! I don't know what to do. I really don't. I'm out of ideas.
This is the Black Hole Martini. It's got Stoli Vanille and the Black Zambuca. Got a little gummy worm.
I mean, it just took so long for the pre-production to kind of get A, funding, B, personnel, C, concept off the ground. It just took about 6 weeks, basically, a month to 6 weeks to get it off the ground. So
That's a good idea.
It's a good idea, but we need a hole.
You know, in the summer, people come up here to golf. In the winter, people come up here to snowmobile, you know. So it's, you know, Brainerd is a vacation economy, okay? So, you know, since it hasn't snowed here that much the past few winters, right? You know, the economy is depressed, you know, and maybe if the city had more financial resources, you know, then it could have launched a bigger investigation into the black hole phenomenon, you know? I don't know.
120 years ago, right here, okay, when Scandinavian immigrants created the greatest lumberjack of all time, okay, Paul Bunyan embodied the strength and the vastness and the vitality of a new America, okay, of a beautiful, blossoming new country that was full of dreams and full of hopes. Okay, and today, this giant is remembered in this statue that's 64 inches tall. That's 5 inches shorter than the average American man. Okay? What does that say? I mean, isn't that messed up?
Is he still talking to her?
Yeah, I think so.
Fucking freezing my ass off here, man.
these things. You need people to talk to one another, to see each other face to face, to share their personal histories and frustrations and fears and joy and dreams. You know, you need these marketplaces where people can talk to one another and build this community of codependence and co-reliance. You know, this is what small towns are all about. You know, and they know you need this. This is the primordial soup that nurtures mysteries. You know, this is what allows mysteries to spread and to grow and gossip and for it to mutate and for it to grow and fractal into something that can rupture time. You know, and become part of local legend, you know. So, you need this. You know, in this suburban sprawl, you know, it spreads across America and it slithers into these small towns and it wraps its tentacles around these pillars of community and it slowly suffocates them. And it replaces this personal space, this local space with a hyperspace. You know, with a commodified space, with a sodomized space. You know, so what'll happen to these mysteries, you know, when this sprawl has spread from coast to coast? You know, there's a part of our soul that needs these mysteries, you know, that aches for them. It's archetypal. That's part of who we are. Different societies, different times fill it differently. So how are we going to fill it when this suburban sprawl spreads all across America? You know, who knows? Maybe we're already seeing it. You know, well, who is Britney Spears fucking today? You know, are Ben Affleck and J-Lo going to get married in Honduras or in Acapulco? Who knows? You know, these are mysteries now. Maybe this is the last American mystery here in Brainerd. You know, this is it. And if you listen closely, you can hear the swan song. You know, there it is. And there lies the mystery sleeping under a blanket of ice. Oh. So who's going to solve this mystery?
But isn't that kind of part of the thing? That the black hole would close about the time you'd want it to be open? I mean, doesn't that add something to it? That it doesn't necessarily mind what you'd like? You think about that a while. I mean, it's not a thing that opens on January 1st and closes on the 15th of March. Mm-hmm. It opened for a while, now it's closed. You know, so what happened? So, I mean, yes, it would make you depressed. I mean, it's depressing. I drive by it every morning on the way to work, and I notice it's not steaming anymore. We don't have that steam coming out because it's cold weather. It's froze over. It's kind of over with now, but everybody in the back of their mind is wondering when is it going to open up again.
Yeah, I'm certainly wondering. You know, a part of me feels though, you know, because a part of me feels like I left sort of a part of my life in Boston. I kind of made a decision not to go back to that life.
Sure.
And I came here, I guess, in many ways to kind of find a new one. And now that I don't have my own life, but I haven't sort of gained this new identity, I feel in many ways like I'm sort of stuck in this tunnel, like in this sort of limbo stage. And you know, I can't imagine going back and continuing my job as a karaoke video editor. Right. But at the same time, I can't, you know. What am I going to do here? You know, and
but the cool thing is, excuse me for interrupting you, but it could be open tomorrow morning. Right. You know, it could, tomorrow morning, the hole could open. And it's possible, very possible. I don't know how much ice is over the top of it, but it could open. It's been cold. It likes to open up when it's really cold, which is unheard of in reality, because when things are cold, they freeze over. Mm-hmm. But here, this thing loves to open up when it's real cold because apparently of the forces of the groundwater or whatever. Mm-hmm. You know, so it could open tomorrow.
Well, this is the kind of thing, you know, when you and I play tricks on one another or humans create mysteries or something, that's one thing. When the creator comes down and slaps us in the face and lays one on us, it gets people's attention in a different way. This is nothing man did. You know, so okay, what's going on? You know, it's just kind of an amazing thing that nobody really understands. But has it changed the community? I don't think it's changed the community. There's 464 lakes within a 30-mile radius of Brainerd. They just went fish the other 463 of them.
I was wondering if we could talk a little bit about your show, specifically in terms of the subject nature of the program itself. I mean, your show has been on cable television for almost 25 years now. It's very successful. Have you ever focused an episode on a particular fish and found for whatever reason you couldn't find that fish and you couldn't tell that story? And you know, what do? Do you rely on stock footage or
We've always taken that liberty. There's so many kinds of fish to catch and so many ways to go after them that there's never a lack of stories. There's a gazillion of them. I mean, you can fish bass in 20 different lakes and have 20 different stories out of it.
Mm-hmm. Now, I understand your wife played a big role in the cookbook, and it often appears on your show. Could you tell me a little bit about that and how it's like having a personal and a professional relationship?
Well, mostly our relationship is a personal relationship.
Mm-hmm. Your wife also she also appears in the Great Fishing?
Yes. Chris has got a feature on good fishing and on outdoor secrets every week.
Mm-hmm.
And then our show runs 6 or 7 days a week on various networks.
Mm-hmm.
So she's out there quite a bit. She's pretty much known as the foremost authority on cooking of this type of wild game and fish and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
People don't know is that she can take pork or chicken and do good things with it too.
Mm-hmm.
What are you doing?
I'm doing a pilot for a television show called Provincial Puzzlers.
It's time to go home. Let's just pack up our bags and get the hell out of here. It's over.
Fine, you want to get out of here? I'll buy you a plane ticket tomorrow morning, okay? You happy? Is that what you... Yes. Well, I think you making me make that decision is unfair. Yes. Well, I'm staying. Yeah. Well, I'm sorry you feel that way. I'm sorry you feel that way. Yeah. Well, I don't. Fine. I don't see the point either then. Right. Okay. See you.
God works in strange ways, and there's going to be scientists that are turning more to religion. I believe that's happening now. So when you have some strange things happening like they are, people have some fear with it at the same time that they're searching. So kind of long-winded, but that's my theory. Yeah. And I truly believe in God, and so if you're entering a faith-based area there, things are happening that are beyond our control no matter what. So
Right. I mean, well, that's very interesting to me because you could argue that occasionally God does let us know about how He operates. It's almost like a piece of a puzzle that falls down from the sky, and we try to make sense of it. And for me personally, I wonder what I need to do for God to have this puzzle piece about the black hole drop down for me, because to me that piece of the puzzle is everything right now, and without it, I have absolutely nothing, and I don't know how to cope with this complete nothingness,
Cope with it by having Jesus in you as your Savior.
yeah, I truly believe that. I agree with her there, very much so.
If you have Him, you don't have to worry about the hole or
If you have
whatever.
a strong enough faith, in other words, you don't need to go to alcohol, you don't have to
No.
worry about the black hole, you don't have to go to drugs. You're looking for something in the wrong places, I
So many
think.
times they say God, but we can't leave out Jesus Christ as part of God.
Exactly.
For the miracle of life and for how atoms are put together and how molecules are put together and how the whole system works. We're just starting to understand. And that was created by our Creator. That's not a random act. That was created. I mean, it functions, And I think any scientist that doesn't see like a higher order of power is blinded, because all you got to do is look out the window or look in front of you. Why do you see what you see?
Mm-hmm. Now, you led the investigation into the hole. No concrete results were found. Is it possible then to assume that a higher power might be involved? And if so, what do you feel that higher power may be trying to tell us?
That's a pretty interesting point. I think this went from being, hey Alan, why don't you go out and get a couple pictures so we can get this in the paper so nobody drowns in the hole, to the hole that drove it by public demand to the front page of the Wall Street Journal. Okay, at a time when you got the whole Middle East crisis going on, you got a whole economic crisis going on, you got the Korean crisis going on, but a hole in a lake brought the attention of the world because of that mystery. So the hole that I feel is the hole in mankind.
Mm-hmm. Well, this is something that I've been thinking a lot about in the past few days, on a more personal level. I feel like if I believed in a higher power, then I'd be able to make it through this somehow. But I don't. I feel if I did believe in a higher power, then I'd be able to contextualize what I'm going through as part of some greater struggle, some greater learning process. But it's very difficult for me to form this belief. And I don't know how to, the things that I do believe in, I guess, are
you know, my relationships and my ambitions, and you know, I don't feel like I have either of those things, and with it, I don't feel like I have a sense of hope, and I don't know how to live this way, you know. I don't know how to deal with this all-encompassing emptiness. I don't know how to do it. Do you know what I mean? I mean, does this make any sense to you?
Yeah. Yeah, I think it does.
We're nothing but cosmic residue. You know? The bacterial inertia floating on a rock. If you drift from one point of darkness to another, you know? Completely. You know? It's all meaningless and arbitrary and random. And the one thing that we've had throughout the ages, as a final resort, when all the other deceptions and constructions and inventions peel away, we can always say, well, you know what, at least I have my culture. At least I have this local identity. You know, I have this place of pride that I could surrender my grief to. And I'll allow it to carry my pain. You know? And I will receive your compassion. And what have you given me? You've given me your strip malls, your barbed wire fences, your plasma televisions, your South Beach diets, your airbrushed photos, your anti-lock brakes. This is my life preserver. You know, could you just give me something? Something I could wrap my arms around and say, I'm proud. I'm proud of this. I'm proud to be from here. Could you give me Paul Bunyan? Could you just give me a glimpse of something, please?
Exhale, put the arms lower down and shoulders up and hold it. And exhale and drop them. And breathe in and hold. And drop them and shake it. And elbows back. 1, 2, 3, 4. And put the arms out straight. And we're going to do wrists outward.
What the center primarily provides is inpatient services and outpatient services for those people that are struggling with emotional disorders in their lives. It covers a range of people, essentially from severe and incapacitating emotional disorders all the way to those that are handling transient kinds of issues in life. We have been here for 45 years, we've been serving the community well, and I feel proud of what it is that we do at this particular center. Alex came here about 8 days ago, and he arrived as a voluntary patient after suffering what it appears to be a significant major depressive disorder. In layman's terms, essentially, what it means is that he was suffering as a result of a sense of personal failure and suffering as a sense of a severe loss in his life. You had to do a little convincing of me to start out with. I was skeptical of the idea about whether a camera could serve a useful function in his recovery. But having thought about it a little bit more and certainly talked about it with staff and certainly with Alex, it seems to me that the camera actually can make him feel important and feel like he is the focus of something in life, metaphorically and otherwise. And I think that right now, given his rootlessness and his sense of loss of identity and his sense of loss of self, I'm more and more convinced that I believe the camera can play a helpful and therapeutic kind of a role in his process and his recovery at the center. The balancing factor really is the issue of privacy and confidentiality at a center like this. And so if you will balance those two factors, I think that we're probably going to be just fine. And that is to pay attention to Alex, because I think this is useful for him, and at the same time not to pay attention to people that choose not to be paid attention to.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
We have scream sessions twice a week as part of our alternative therapy program. And it gives people a chance to get together and to vent some of their anger and frustrations. And some people clearly, I feel, get a lot out of it. I don't know, I feel a little self-conscious, I guess.
We're going to be helping him essentially kind of reintegrate with human beings and with himself, and that's going to include group and individual kind of psychotherapy. It's going to include group activities so that in fact he can engage with other people and start to feel a little bit more confident and comfortable about regaining a sense of who he was, who he is, and where he's going in his life.
You see, here I feel like I can really unload, you know? Because we're in the middle of nowhere, this place is totally abandoned, you know? I feel like I can kind of let loose here. I come here probably about 2 or 3 times a week. I don't know, get away from the center, I guess, a little bit and think about a few things. There's a very, like, peaceful and serene, like, womb-like presence, I feel, inside of these cars, because they're covered in snow. So it's just a nice kind of cocoon to be in for a while. Usually I sit inside the pickup trucks because if you're here for a while, if you sit in it for a while, you notice that they warm up a lot faster because they have smaller cabins, so your body heat is insulated by the snow. And because the cabins are smaller, they warm up a lot faster, so I usually sit inside them. On cold days anyway, I sit inside them, but today it's not so bad. But a car like this, it'll probably take a while to warm up, I would imagine.
When you were just screaming a second ago, what were you screaming at?
Well, I don't know if I was screaming at something. I feel more that I was screaming from something, maybe, if that makes sense. You know, I've been here for, you know, a while now, and I still very much have this sense of emptiness inside me. And there's also a fear. There's a fear that a part of me has changed forever, I guess, and that I might never not have this feeling. You know, it might be part of me forever, and that's really scary too. So I feel like those things find their way into the scream, I guess, or maybe the scream finds them. You know, I don't know. I do know that I should be going back pretty soon because we have afternoon group pretty soon. Do you want to walk back with me?
Hey man, it's me. I'm sorry to call so late. I know you're probably sleeping. I just wanted to something pretty amazing has happened, and I just wanted to talk to you about it and hear your thoughts on everything. A few days ago, I went to the junkyard. I just needed some, time to think about a few things. And it was a cold day, and I sat inside my favorite pickup truck. And after a little while, I got kind of itchy and claustrophobic, and I went out and I cleared off a little bit of snow from the windshield so I could look out and see what's going on a little bit. And I climbed back inside the pickup truck, and I noticed that after about a half hour, 45 minutes, it became much warmer. And I waited a little while, and it became warmer and warmer. And I was sitting there in the pickup, feeling this heat rise over me, and everything just fucking clicked, because this is it. This is what's going on with the lake. It's the greenhouse effect. Okay? That's what's going on.
So if this is the lake, okay, and this plastic on top of it is the ice that forms during the winter, then what normally happens during a typical winter is that there's plenty of snowfall on the lake, right? The lake is covered in a thick blanket of snow, and the water beneath goes dark for a few months. But for the past few winters, for whatever reason, there's been very, very little snowfall, okay, up here. So North Long Lake, it's had pretty much clear ice, so the sun is able to travel through the ice, heat the water below, and the lake is able to act as a greenhouse where it absorbs the heat of the sun. When enough warm water is collected, it creates an open hole. Okay? And the only reason why it only happened on North Long Lake and not on other lakes is because North Long Lake is very big, okay? There's a lot of surface area, it can trap a lot of heat from the sun, but it's very shallow, so there's not a lot of volume to have to heat up, okay? So to test that out, I made numerous size clearings and numerous size cars all across the junkyard, okay? The bottom line is, what we have to do, okay? We have to clear off all of the snow that's on North Long Lake right now. Okay, that's the plan. Because it snowed right before we got here. There was a lot of snow that shut down the greenhouse effect, and the lake froze over. And if we can reverse that process, okay, if we can get 10 or 15 volunteers from the center to help us out, if we can get administration, permission from the administration to hook us up with day passes and transportation, okay, and we clear off all that snow, I guarantee you, okay, that hole will open up, okay, and we're gonna be able to finish this pilot, and we're gonna be able to do something that's, people are going to talk about this. People are going to remember this. This is going to be part of local history forever, and, I just feel this could be really, really, amazing.
No. There isn't any way that I can permit such a thing.
Why?
Safety and well-being of everybody concerned in the process. There's no way that I can permit such a thing.
What do you think, how do you feel the center helps residents like myself here?
I think it is for those who have lost their footing in life, it is for those who have lost their grounding in life, essentially to refine themselves. The process by which they do that is by interaction, is by conversation, is by medication, is by diet, exercise, etc., etc., etc. From the Greek philosophers forward, we've been doing the same thing for people that are hurt and wounded psychologically.
Mm-hmm.
We put them together, we have them talk to each other, we have them talk to us, we help them. That's what we do.
Mm-hmm.
That's what this institution stands for.
Mm-hmm. I agree with all those things, and I can honestly say that the center has helped me. Specifically, I feel the way that I've been helped most is with group therapy and being in a group environment. I feel when we do things together, whether it's talk about them or even go on like these little field trips that we go on together, and we have this goal-oriented behavior where we try to do something when we have those exercises in group. The fact that being on a team and being in a group setting where we're all moving together towards this common goal and we're all being honest in the process and coming closer to each other, and there's just this end of bonding, and for me personally that's so powerful, and I feel so much like I'm part of something.
You're a convincing man. You're a very convincing man. Understand, however, I've known you for 4 weeks now, and the difficulty is that you're putting me in a bind here. The therapeutic side of me, the human side of me says this makes some sense. There's something intuitively appealing about it to me as a therapist and as a person. However, I'm also a member of an institutional staff, and they have to say no. So I'm stuck in the middle. I'm really stuck in the middle of this one.
I understand, but you're not just a member of an institutional staff. You're the head of the institutional.
I'm the clinical director of this place,
You're the
and
clinical
so
director,
I get to say some things.
Right.
Okay.
So as clinical director, could you at least think about these things and see the potential therapeutic benefit and see the fact that it can instill these people with a tremendous amount of self-confidence and worth and meaning, and just think about these things?
Well, this has been a non-traditional approach in every sense of the word in terms of treating you and helping you through your process of healing. And for that purpose alone, what I'll do is I'll take it under consideration, take it to my colleagues, and sit down with them and do a little thinking out loud about it.
One afternoon, not long ago, in this very town, Paul Bunyan went out to chop down some trees to help out the local lumberjacks. And they say that he can cut more down with a single swing of his axe than it could take a crew of lumberjacks working for weeks. And after a long day's work, Paul Bunyan trudged home, and he discovered that his pet, his companion, Babe the Blue Ox, whom Paul had tied up that morning, had broken free and run away. And as Paul chased Babe all over the countryside over the next few days, he left huge footprints in the land. And when Paul finally caught Babe and brought him back home, it began to rain. And the rainwater filled these footprints, and that's how Minnesota's 10,000 lakes were created. Okay? Now, we are all going to die. Everyone in this room is going to die. And that's a fact. Okay? And we can all deal with that and cope with it in our own different ways. But there's one way we can all live forever, and that's by leaving a mark behind. And most people never get that chance. And the few that do often blow it. And here we have a golden opportunity to not only leave a mark behind, but to leave a legend. A legend that future generations, perhaps all across this country, will talk about. We can live forever the way Scandinavian immigrants who created Paul Bunyan right here in Brainerd 120 years ago live today. In the shadows of the different Paul Bunyan signs in town, in the folds of all the embellishments that are made to his legend every day, all across America. Okay? We can live forever that way too. But the choice is yours. Okay? We could either spend the rest of our lives napping in hallways, or we could go out there and weave something into the fabric of American legend, and thereby live forever. The choice is ours. Does anybody have any questions about all this? Yeah.
Will there be bathrooms? Will there be a place to go to the bathroom?
For there to be absolutely no sign of the ice melting after this many days, after this many bright and sunny days, is inexplicable to me. It makes no sense. You know, when they did the investigation, they checked for pollutants in the lake, they checked for underground currents and springs, they checked for seismic activity, you know, they checked for everything. They didn't find anything. You know, that's why the greenhouse theory can not only explain why the hole opened up on the lake, it could also explain why it only happened on North Long Lake. No other theory can do that. You know, that's why I thought we really had this thing. You know, I thought we had it. So it's my serve now because you just served 5 in a row. So after you serve 5, it's my serve. Even though you didn't win the point. You know what I mean? Okay. You know, I put everyone here through so much. And I just feel really disappointed and sad.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. I don't know what went wrong. You know, maybe the clearing wasn't big enough. You know.
I think, Alex, that the clearing was just enormous. It was huge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know what else it could be. You know. Yeah. And I don't know what else I could do. You know, like if there's something I felt I could do, I'd be doing it. So I really. Yeah, I don't know what else I could do. You know.
Yeah.
But.
It's a normal outcrop, basically, of any kind of endeavor in life where you don't get what it is that you're hoping to get in the final analysis, is that you feel sad, you feel disappointed. And so you do. It's normal, it's natural, and in fact, it's appropriate to feel such a thing. I think that what feels incredibly gratifying to me after watching your growth and your evolution here over the last couple of months is that you're now sitting here saying these words to me rather than acting them out in a self-destructive kind of way. And I think that that is a statement of the growth that you have made while you've been here. So I feel incredibly good about that, and I think the ability to share and to talk and to express your feelings is going to serve you well in Boston and for the remainder of your time on this planet. So you've gotten a good experience here, it seems to me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, there is in fact one more thing that I wanted to share with you, and it's something that I'd request that you just sit back and you listen and you take into account what it is that I'm going to say. You bear in mind where you are, what the circumstances are at this moment as I share this with you. Do you feel ready to hear this?
Okay.
Well, I think that you're aware of a staff member here by the name of Nurse Cotner. She's a member of the clinical staff. Well, as she does every day when she's on her way here to the center, she passed by North Long Lake on her way in this morning. And after she arrived here at the center, she came to my office. And she wanted to share something with me.
Join me next time as we may journey to your small town to unravel America's next great provincial puzzler.
Okay.
How did that sound?
Sounds fine.
Can you hear it, or is it too low?
It's a little windy, but you can hear it. It's fine.
Join me next time as we may journey to your small town to unravel America's next great provincial puzzler. How did that sound?
I think it's fine.
Yeah. Do you think it's odd that I say the word next twice?
Did you? I didn't notice.
I say, join me next time as we may journey, blah, 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 America's next great. Let me try it one more time. I'm gonna say, join me. Do you think ending with that wrap shot does that work for you? I just feel like from that angle we're not getting enough scope for the whole hole. You know what I mean?
We can't move the hill. I don't.
No, if there's just a way to. I just feel if we got like an aerial shot, that's what we need, man. If we got like a helicopter and did like a nice little 360, that'd be amazing. You know, this is the big ending. This is the finale. This is the money shot. You know?
I just don't. I think we have plenty of footage. I don't think you need that.
Yeah, I mean, but think of the production value. Also, look, we've come this far. You know, why not just go the next? Why not like really deliver? You know?
I mean, you opened the lake. You delivered that.
Yeah,
you're delivering an open hole.
But it can be really, really beautiful. You know, if we got a helicopter shot, we could also get downtown, sweeping overheads of downtown Brainerd. You know, get the water tower, get all the little streets. Also, someone at the center told me there's a much, much bigger Paul Bunyan statue in a city called Bemidji, which is about. That's definitely worth checking out. I mean,
Alex, I've been here for 2 months. I can't keep doing this thing. I can't.
I just can't. I mean,
I don't think that there's that much more stuff to do. You know, it's just a few more.
you solved the mystery. You delivered. I really am sorry. I gotta go home.
All right. I mean, I understand. I'm gonna hire a crew in Minneapolis in the next few days. I'm gonna bring them up here. We're gonna get some aerial shots.
All right.
Gonna grab some downtown shots of Brainerd. Gonna try to track down this Paul Bunyan. This thing's gonna be good. This thing's gonna be really, really, really good.